Hey, Brandon and Sheena.
Hello.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I've been meeting with Sheena at Connect, Utah, so it's been awesome to get to know her a little bit about your guys' business.
Well,
Tell me a little bit about your guys' company, how you got started with this.
Oh, Brandon has been in the industry for about a little over 7 years. He's worked with several different companies, and then things just never really felt right with those companies. And we talked about, kind of building our own thing, what we wanted. Some things fell through with starting that. And then this last November, we were able to jump into the opportunity, and we've just been enjoying the ride ever since. So
It's awesome. No, I commend you for sure for forging your own path, going off and doing it for yourself rather than working for somebody else. So I think that's really awesome for taking that leap. And what kind of inspired you to get into the trade since you've been in the industry for 7 years? What first started that?
So at least it's probably been more than that now. I had a owner hit me up and he said, "Hey, you've been referred to me by 3 different people." And so he's like, "Do you want a job?" And yeah, that was my interview. I'm like, this is the weirdest interview I've ever had. So I'm like, sure, let's do this. And so I jumped in, and I'll tell you the trades. I've been in the corporate world, and that's where I came from, was manufacturing, and I was running a division in manufacturing, and it is completely different, but I am so grateful to be in the trades. Being in the trades, you choose your own path. Even if you're not an owner, you can choose your own path. It's really neat.
Right, absolutely. And I'm glad that you haven't regretted this transition. It's been good for you guys, encouraging other people trying to get into the trades or home services and forging their own path. So I think that's really cool. And what would you say has been one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome with your business venture?
for me personally, I've always been a stay-at-home mom. So this has really pushed my boundaries, trying to get myself out there, learning so many different new skills kind of all at once, plus still trying to keep the home life in order. So for me, trying to balance all the hats has been a big challenge, but it has been such an awesome experience to be able to do things that I never thought I'd be able to do, and to be able to watch myself grow, take on those challenges has been pretty incredible. So that's been
That's really awesome, because you know what? When we don't push ourselves out of comfort zone, there's no growth there. And especially being like a stay-at-home mom, I think that's really cool that you're able to do everything. That's just a superpower that I think is awesome. And every time I've talked to you, it seems like you've been doing this for years. So I'm really surprised to hear that, this is your first time doing kind of stuff like that. So I think that's really awesome that you can add some of these skills to your tool belt. And what would you guys say separates your company from others in your market?
And that's honestly a great question, because, I'd love to say, oh, we're the best. But if you talk to anybody, they're going to say the same thing. It's kind of fun. So with my future and current employees, one of the things that we do is we'll say, hey, is that the HoneyBee way, right? We're looking at something that maybe you could cut a corner, right? That you could do something and it would work. But I love that even the people that work with me, they're like, when we ask that question, they're like, no, it's not. And so we do it the right way. And I know everybody's going to say that, but I feel like it's something that I've always, tried to do with either when people I'm training or even at my own company. Like, I'll go out and I'll run to a supply house to get the right part to make sure it's fixed right, instead of just making it work. That's one thing. Another thing I feel like is kind of what we try to do. I've been in the trades for years, and I've known a lot of good people. So I'm trying to build something that can make it so everybody wins. You see a lot of PE coming in and they're trying to go for money. Well, money's great. And I'm not going to say I'm not in it for money too. I am. But my opinion is 3 people have to win in order for anybody to win. The customer has to win, the company has to win, and the employees have to win. And if you can do all 3 of those, you've got a solid company. And at the same time, if I'm going to make sure you're taken care of, you have to make sure that you're the same caliber of person that I will want at HoneyBee. Otherwise, sorry, this isn't the place for you.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it seems like the way that you guys are operating your business is with integrity. I think that speaks a lot to, a lot of the other companies maybe in your market. They might cut some corners and save a little here and save a little there, and then nobody wins in the end. So I completely agree with that. And I think that what you guys are building definitely shows integrity for sure. Yeah. And then what would you say has helped your company grow the most these past, you said you started in November?
I feel like what has helped us, I don't know if you want me to go this way, but two things. One is relationships. And because I've been in the market for so long and I come with an operations background and I know a lot of people, I know a lot of suppliers, and I've built really good relationships with those suppliers. I mean, knowing people and helping them, succeed, and they in turn come back and help us succeed. And that's been a big thing. Another one for me is I have been more, I don't know if you want me to say this, but more religious than I have in the past. And I have my own personal beliefs. I have to thank them for the safety that I've had, because I ran into situations where I could be dead if I didn't do this right. And thankfully I have second thoughts and I'm like, hey, I should check this. And it's like, oh, that was 240 volts that I could have been nailed with. And just the benefits. I have to give a lot to, the man up above has helped us get to where we are. So I feel like both of those have been a strength to us.
Yeah, no, that's really inspiring. And I agree with the part about the relationships building, especially when I met Sheena for the first time at Connect Utah. I just knew there was something unique and interesting about your guys' business. And even if we're not buying from each other, we can still have a relationship outside of business and with business. So I think that's really important. And of course, keeping strong in your faith, if that's something that, you're thankful for, I think that that's awesome. So what would you say you'd be most excited for about the future with your business venture?
Answer one.
Oh man, what we're excited for. To see how it grows. And we both agree that we want it to be a place where we have people that want to be here with us. They want to work with us, not because they have to, but because they enjoy it, because they feel that they're safe. That to us is very important. And also to have our family be able to grow at the same time and be able to see that we're doing hard things, but we're overcoming those challenges and knowing that they can overcome those challenges, like any challenges that they happen in their lives, like being able to see that they can do that too. And maybe, hopefully, if our kids get in the trades, then we can help them and build different relationships. And I don't know, that's really kind of the main thing, is our relationships is really big in what we want. So
yeah, no, I totally agree with the company, work culture. People often say they don't leave the job, they leave the employer. So I think that that's really important to have somebody that you're working for, that you believe in and you believe that cares about you. That's why I've been with Jill's office for 5 years now. Like, I plan on being here for as long as they'll have me. So I just think it's really important. And that's awesome that that's what you guys are striving to do for your employees too. I think that's really cool. And what trends are you seeing in your industry? Like, have you been seeing lately?
It depends on what aspects you're kind of looking for. It's not as much as it has been, but private equity has been coming in a lot. Then I'm seeing now a trend where people are kind of getting wise to it and they're shifting away. So I think private equity is actually struggling more so than they have in the past, which is your big corporate companies, right? And where they focus on themselves. I think what happens then is people kind of get smart. And they're like, wait, you used to, and I've actually talked to customers like, I used to love X company. They did so much work for me. I see their name plastered all over their house, but they're like, something's different. It's changed. And, I know what happened, but they don't. And so it's just interesting. That's one trend I see. I also see more people coming into the trades. People are getting scared. AI is taking jobs. And eventually it will come into the trades to a point where it can take, some of these things off of us, but it'll be way down the road. And so I think people feel more safe in the trades than maybe in some other, profession that can be taken. So I think that's another thing you're seeing.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay. And then is there anything else that you'd like your customers or other contractors to know about your business, or like any advice that you would give for anyone starting? A
lot. This is one thing I tell everybody. I I've had a lot of jobs and I've been in a lot of industries, and I've been in a lot of roles. Like I've been a general manager, I've been an operations manager, I've ran a division of a medical device manufacturer. And I'll tell you, hands down, this is the most stressful job I have ever had in my entire life. But it has been the most rewarding. And so there is a payoff. And I can't tell you how many times I think to myself, what am I doing? Seriously. But I don't think that's uncommon when it comes to entrepreneurs. There's a reason that most companies don't succeed, because it's hard. It is hard. And if you're going to do this, you need to understand that it is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. Like, you will push, you'll be ground to the bone. You know, you're going to be just pushed all the way down as far as you can go. And you've got to keep figuring out how to get back up and keep going. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And some people can't do that. And I understand completely. The other thing is, like, relationships are key. You know, everybody says everybody's going to be after you and, oh, you're never going to make it. But I honestly believe you get into the right circles and you have people that are going to support you and you're going to support them. And it makes the difference. You know, and you can talk to each other about, hey, this is rough. Yeah, this is rough. I'm going through this problem. That's funny. I'm going through the same problem and I'm having the same problems, you know, trying to figure this out. So get in with a good group, find those individuals and build each other up. It's huge. And that's how you can succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's twice as hard because you're an entrepreneur, you're starting a business in general, and then being in the trades industry as well. So I don't know how you guys do it or how you guys decided that you were just going to do it. But I think that's awesome so far. Like, everything that you guys have done seems to be working. And how would you say you guys have been handling that growth since February, since you started?
Yeah, because it has grown. How have you been handling it?
Yeah. It honestly depends on the day.
Yeah.
It depends on the days. Some days I'll be like, oh yeah, this was fantastic. This was great. You know, I'm so happy that we did this. And then literally just 2 days later, and you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulder and that it's not going to move on. You're not going to grow, you know, all these different thoughts and stuff. But it's definitely a roller coaster.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's something that I'm so grateful for, the opportunity that we have to work together, to support each other. We've got such a good support system of friends and family, and our client base is growing, and it's cool. Such a blessing.
It's really
cool. That's awesome.
And one of that owner that pulled me in, this is what he would say. I don't know if he remembers where he got it, but he said, if it's to be, it's up to me, right? And so you need more work, go get it. Go figure it out. Another thing that he always said, this is what blew my mind, is when it got rough and it got hard, because it did get hard, right? And it's a different hard because it wasn't all on me. It was a lot on him. He says, look, something good is around the corner. And you hear that all the time. Read books, everything. You know, 3 feet from gold is another good one, where people give up and you are so close to making it. If you just pushed this much more and kept pushing, there's something good around the corner. And I think that's hard to see when you're in the trenches, but it's there. You just got to keep pushing for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having that positive mindset, that optimistic mindset that you got to keep going. I think that's awesome that, you know, it's not the end of the world, but you're going to try your hardest. You're going to for sure push yourself. How are you guys attracting new customers currently? Like, as far as like paid ads go or marketing, are you doing any sort of that?
We're doing a lot. So I've got my hands in a lot of things, and I've dumped so be careful. Don't put too much money into something. Like, I dumped, I think, $3,000 into one marketing avenue and returned zero. And so you just got to be careful, find out what works for you, talk to people. Like right now, I'd say 90+% is referrals. Like, do a freaking good job. Take care of people, and they will have their friends come to you. And so it's like, you hear all the time of these horrible stories, these horror stories, right? That this technician came out, or he's scary, or he did something crazy. And it's like, you can't do that because people know. And so I think the big one is, you know, and where we've seen growth is we take care of one person, and then that person tells this person, and then, you know, this person tells 2 people, and then this person tells 3 people, and they're like, hey, these guys take care of you. And it seemed to be growing that way, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. I think that a lot of people forget how important word of mouth is, and your network too. So, they know a guy that they need HVAC services. And she even told me that you guys got your plumbing license as well recently.
Yeah. So we are licensed in plumbing. That finally came through. It's probably been a month or two.
Okay.
So yeah, that's good. We have licensed plumbers on staff, and it's fun. So I have a journeyman and master, and so I send them out to do bids, and we've done some jobs with them, and it's been a learning experience. But we get it done, right? Every trade has their own thing, and it's good to have people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because when you run into when everything goes smooth, it's great. But when you run into the problems, that's when you want somebody that has some experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good.
Yeah. Okay. What made you guys decide to go ahead and get that plumbing license?
When I started, the company that I was with primarily was plumbing. And so that's kind of the avenue I knew fairly well. And then we kind of branched into HVAC and did some heating and air. And that's where I got all my training and certifications. I was over a big team, and I to the point where I got, my NATE, my EPA, and my RMGA, which are pretty much the only things you can get in HVAC. And so that's where I really focused. And then, with plumbing though, I knew it. So I always knew I was going to get into it. But this is something that we saw as a big opportunity. So HVAC, it's very cyclical. When you're in the off seasons, it's really low revenue. And then in the summer and the fall, in the winter, usually you get more. Plumbing is usually a little flatter. It does have its cycles, but it's kind of a good one to kind of supplement with. So yeah. Long answer for,
No, that's awesome. I think that's really interesting that you already kind of had that background. And that was always a part of the plan. And then now you're finally, so congratulations with that. For my final question, how do you make sure customers have a great experience from the very first call with you?
That I am still learning, because I'm the one who does most of the phone calls. So that has taken some training, and I still need more training and learning, but I try to be as informative and pleasant on the phone as I possibly can be, to kind of create that first step in the process. But then really the way that we go about going to each person's house is where I feel like kind of sets us apart too.
Yeah. So, and she, I get to listen to her calls, and for not being in the industry for a year, she does a fantastic job. And you hear her answer the phone, and then man, you sound awesome. And the customers respond really well. And I think, as you know, if you're happy and you smile before you answer the phone, right? It changes your response. And then, like you were saying, a positive attitude. Oftentimes you find people, they get to a customer's home and they're frustrated, and do you know what I mean? Well, that rubs off on the customer, and they can tell. And so I think it's having that positive attitude and being honest and open with people. Maybe I'm too honest sometimes. But when you go there, I'm there to kind of help and take care of these people. And I think that translates into a good experience. People see when I'm there, they're thinking, wait a sec, this guy is not just trying to sell me something. I tell people sometimes, look, if you want to go with it, that's great. I will take care of you here. But if it's it's you. I will present what's going to work for you. It's your decision on what to go. This is what I recommend. But at the end of the day, and this is what I would do, but you have to make your decisions. And so I think being open and kind of doing that with them and being honest, it does translate, and it goes really far. And even if they don't, I know everybody wants because a replacement, you make a lot of money. They make you good money repairing too. But a lot of people, they push those replacements. And I'm like, you've got this older system, and it is older, but it's running great. Now, look, I can't guarantee you it's going to run forever. You might get a day, you might get a year, you might get 5 years. But right now it's doing this. Now, there are benefits to having a new system, but you don't need one right now. And so I let them make that decision. If you really want some bids, I can give you some, but your temperatures are doing great. Your system's being great. I would keep it. And so I feel like when you look out for them, it's a better experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I appreciate that too, because you don't want to feel like you're being forced to make this big purchase, and you want someone to be genuinely like in a consultative approach, right? You're giving them the information that you have to give them, and then it's ultimately up to the customer to make that decision. I think that's really great.
Yeah. It's hard. That's not the industry. The industry is training people, push.
Yeah.
Push the sales for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I am so thankful that you took the time to sit down with me and answer my questions. And it was really great getting to meet you, Brandon and Sheena. Always great to talk to you. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with? What's that? What's your saying? Your tagline about the honeybees, the hive?
Our tagline is actually sweetening the comfort of your home. So HoneyBee will definitely take care of you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty. With that, I will go ahead and then I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.